Hello, I'm Josh. I'm actually a drummer.
Whoa.
I've always wanted to, be really creative with drumming. I wanted to be all lit up. The coolest ever thing I've did with drumming. I've been playing the drums for the last 10 years, and I can say a little bit about my history of drumming. Because back in the day I used to play piano lessons, but I felt like that wasn't working out on me, so I just thought, rather than do piano lessons, I thought I'd move on to drumming.
Well, I'm Jill. I'm Josh's stepmum.
Looking great.
Thank you.
The first time I remember Josh with a drum was when he was about 6, and he had one of these little drums with this long string round the neck, and he was walking around the living room playing it. That didn't sound so good in those days, but since then, like he said before, he did a bit of piano, but then he was always tapping on the table. And we thought, he seems a bit of a natural, but he seemed to have a bit of a flair for remembering rhythms and varying them, and it just sounded good. So we got him his first drum kit. And then he moved on from there with an acoustic kit, and then he had a electric Roland kit. Well, we've got used to it now, but we have a cut-off line, 9 p.m, and then stop. So over the years, I must admit, as a family, we're kind of like sometimes, but then it just becomes part of normal life because Josh plays every day.
So, is it hard to incorporate these kinds of moves into your drumming?
Well, yeah, it can be very tricky at the start, but if you practice it can stick with you. If you keep doing it for a little while,
Mm-hmm.
I know some of it might take longer than other times, but I think eventually you can get it. You can get it eventually. I watched a guy on YouTube called Dylan Elise, who is all the way from New Zealand, but is now currently living in Los Angeles, California. And he tends to do all these stick tricks, and he gets it from a drummer called Stephen Smith. And I get it from him.
Okay. So does he have tutorials on YouTube or something about how to do the tricks?
Yeah. He tends to do it for definitely quite common in solos and all that, but sometimes they do it in just playing as well, But he tends to do all these sort of stick tricks, and then also like that he can go.
Oh, I need to learn that. So
No, that's all right.
I need to learn that. That's yeah.
I can teach you to learn that, yeah, if you want.
Okay, cool.
As he said, he saw a guy on YouTube doing stick tricks, and he's always liked spinning things, so he kind of took off from there, and he started doing that on his own in his bedroom, just practicing and learning, and we weren't particularly aware of that at first, and then we started to see how he incorporated it into his drumming style, and we thought, wow, that's really impressive. He went on to have further tuition, and now he has another drum teacher as well. But I don't know, he just seems to have a natural rhythm, and he plays along to a lot of music in his bedroom, all kinds of music. and he adds his own kind of spin to things.
You look like it comes naturally to you. It's like
Yeah.
you don't even pay attention. You just do all these things.
I tend to do it for habit now these days, really. It's because of, I also say a little history about my autism because my autism, I used to like a thing called fans, and I also love the spinning effect, and that's probably why I've picked all this up from, and anything spinning like wind turbines, from when I was like 5, up until this day and age.
Joshua was diagnosed with autism and a learning disability very young. He used to be quite an anxious boy, frightened of a lot of things, frightened of ice cream vans, frightened of loud noises. Over the years, he grew in confidence. Actually, he didn't speak until he was 6. The only word he ever said was light. And then when he was 6 years old, I always remember one day he started to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, just completely out of the blue. And that was a song that his nanny used to sing to him. And that was the first song he sang. And then from then on, he started talking and he's never stopped. He's grown in confidence a lot over the years. He's always been a very sociable and friendly guy. He loves people. He loves chatting. He's, a lot of people, or even myself, can get quite anxious in social situations. But Josh, you could always, if there was a school party or something going on, or anybody he didn't know, and you say, "Oh, are you okay, Josh? You all right back?" Going, "Yeah, I'm fine." I think as a parent, you become more anxious than actually Josh himself. And he chats along to anybody. He's a very positive, upbeat guy. He's always positive. Always looks at the bright side of things. He's had his periods in life where he's been a little bit down on himself with autism and being different. But I think he's moved forward in his life and realises that actually being different is okay. He has a lot of friends. He's very popular. He came across the Grange in Bookham, which is a community of people with autism, learning disabilities, lots of various issues, and it's a really upbeat, positive place. And from the moment Josh walked in there, he'd found a sense of himself and being able to be himself without worrying what people thought of him. And he's really moved forward with that. He moved out of home just over a year ago into supported living in the community of Bookham, supported by the Grange, and he's learning lots of independent skills. He started to learn to cook for himself, do his own washing, not quite ironing, the housework, and he's living very happily, independently. There was a time, I suppose only about the last 3 or 4 years, that he's been travelling independently, using trains, looking up on his app, booking the train journeys and things, and he does that a whole lot better than we do. So he's really come a long way, and we're exceptionally proud of him.
Well, I was diagnosed at 18 months, within 18 months, which is very young. And, my mum could spot like little odd bits and did know obviously it was autism, because obviously 30 years ago, before she had me, she used to work in a nursery full of kids with autism. And so that's how she spotted it in me, and and that was the giveaway really, is when I kept looking up at lights and used to like stuff like flickering I did. And yeah, no, I used to be quite a nervy autistic person as well back in the day, but obviously growing up from that now, and cope with things a lot better now. So yeah, that's really my autism, really, you know.
He goes to a community place called the Grange in Bookham, and he does a lot of gardening and woodwork there. And his woodwork teacher, a guy named Dan, said he knew of Clive, a friend of his, that had a studio that would be interested to meet him after he saw a video of Josh. And so we arranged to come over here to the Sonic Bunker and met up with Clive and Gabba. And yeah, that's how it all began, really. They took a couple of films of Josh drumming, and you know, I think they were amazed by what a good drummer he was, but also obviously all the stick tricks that were involved in it as well. Yeah, so that's how it all began.
Really enjoying this so far.
I can say.
In drum heaven. Ready now.
Yeah, my name's Clive, and I help run the Sonic Bunker with my friend Gabba. Sort of like a combination of what we do here. You know, people come in to rehearse, or we make videos with people. And Josh amazingly fell on our doorstep. Dan introduced us to Josh, and yeah, and then everything went from there, really. So.
Who came up with the idea to do this video, the music
video? Well, when we actually saw how well Josh could drum in here and his acrobatics with the sticks, we kind of thought, well, we've got to make a video, you know, out of that, and we let him choose a song. So we did our first video with him, and yeah, it just went amazingly well. And then sort of, yeah, we just, after that, we knew we had to make another video, really. So Gabba actually came up with the idea of the lights, and we talked to Josh about it as well, and we all kind of sort of come up with it together with the sticks, and then kind of with the LEDs. So it's all just an idea to start with, which I think every project here starts as an idea, and it turns into this massive kind of project sometimes. But it's like really worth doing. It's very rewarding and really worth doing.
Clive introduced the sticks where you get the flashing lights, and thought that would look really good on camera. And then from then the idea grew to Josh being back on a trailer in the dark at night with his balaclava, his black clothes, being lit up like the Christmas tree.
The video that came about was, the project is, I've always wanted to, you know, be really creative with drumming. What I wanted to be with creative with drumming was, I wanted to be all lit up, and obviously you can get light up drumsticks, and I just thought, you know, that I'd really like to be lit up, have lights all over me, and balaclava as well, you know. I just thought it looked like I was probably about to rob a bank, but obviously no, I was just being creative with drumming, you know. And I really loved all the LEDs all over me.
How did the specific, like the idea and the details come about how to dress up and how to make this sort of video? So you had the idea that you wanted to do
so that's where obviously you've got to think about how to create what you're thinking. And so we went online to look at like how we could use the LEDs.
Did you see a similar video, or was it?
Yeah, we did. We saw a video on YouTube of some dancers using the same lights.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we saw that, and then we had to kind of go online and find the same ones. But then, and so we got Josh. The early stages was to get Josh in here, and then with I think he might have had a hoodie or just a sweatshirt, and how we were going to attach these lights to him because he's doing a lot of movement, without them falling off. So first of all we used tape, but then we worked it out that we could actually use safety pins, and that was the best way to hold them on. And we did a lot of testing. We did testing in here, did testing in the garden, out there with a drone and with cameras, and we kind of tested quite a bit before the big day, the big evening shoot. Yeah, so on the drum kit was all LEDs, battery operated LEDs. On Josh, we decided in the end that it would be better for him to wear a hoodie, and his power pack was on the back. And that was all put together on the night. Jill had kind of worked out at home how to put it all together herself. So we the old what we had was like the old I think glow sticks on his shirt. So when he got to the actual site, we could mimic the setup there, and we used glow sticks on the cymbals, which did create quite a few problems on the night and between takes. Just had to get a towel and keep trying to dry them, and then redo them and retape them, and it was only a matter of time before they came off again. So so with a project like that, something always kind of falls down. So it's 50 metres of LED on those drums.
Wow.
And on Josh. And the glow sticks. So, yeah. And we had him here to actually drum the audio. So all the drumming on what you see on the film for Living on the Prayer, he's live drumming in here. And then Josh had to take that home and literally had to learn all his spinning to those points where he did all the magic, which must have taken him a long time.
Yeah, he's done an amazing job.
Yeah, everybody involved. I'm really thankful for everybody that helped out. It's just amazing. Yeah.
So how did you pick the song? Is it one of your favourites?
Yes, it is one of my favourite songs, Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. I practiced it a numerous amount of times, in my spare time when I have at home, or whenever I have my chill time at home, I practice it a lot. I really loved doing, I loved being near the Gatwick Airport, the field off the runway, basically. I thought that was the coolest ever thing I've did with drumming. It may have looked like I could have been doing, guiding the planes into the runway. I really loved having the drone over me as well. I thought that was the really coolest, unusual thing ever in my lifetime of drumming. The weather was decent, but it was really, really cold. Bonus thing was I did have a hot chocolate, which was really nice. I felt like a real rock star,
Gabor's brother-in-law, I think it's his brother-in-law, appeared with a drone, which I'd never seen close up before, and certainly not one as big as that. And just watching that was amazing, the way it was zooming right up in the sky and back down again, and then coming towards you and back out. Everybody was busy. There was like a swarm of people giving instructions, move bit right, bit left, do this, do that. And then as the sky grew darker, it all started to come together. Josh was sat on, I mean, who sits on a stage, you know, blacked out like that for 6 hours, happily sitting there being, oh, can you do that again, Josh? Oh, do that again. And he was just loving, he loved every minute of it, and it was wonderful to see. And then obviously as it got darker and then the lights were really showing up, I thought, you know, what Josh was saying, this feels like a space age. You know, it was an amazing experience for him. Totally unique. I mean, who experiences things like that? And we've always wanted Josh to have a good, happy, busy life, and experience things that everybody experiences, but then unique things as well. So it was like, well, who gets to do this? So yeah, it was amazing, and it all came together. And then obviously it was very cold, but as I think Josh said, we had a big flask of coffee with some Baileys in, and that was helped the night along, shall we say. With the Sonic Bunker and meeting Clive and Gabba was amazing. It's not often that you get the opportunity to do things like this and to have people around that are so supportive and, you know, want to help in moving Josh forward and developing his skills is wonderful. And there's such a great crowd. To have a lot of people involved or working together as a team was, you know, remarkable. And it made me feel quite humbled, really, that, wow, this is Josh here, and people want to put this in and, you know, give of their time to work on a project like this. It's been a wonderful thing.
Looking back at the whole thing, I think we got a really good result. Yeah, and I'm amazed, you know, what can be achieved from just an idea, really. And that's kind of like looking at people, meeting Josh and other people, and then coming up with these projects that we do. You know, and if you like this video and you want us to we can support people like Josh, musicians, you know, you could help click the subscribe button, you know, give us a like, you know, and it helps us build what we're trying, you know, achieve what we're trying to do. So, at the Sonic Bunker.
Jeez, I'm blooming cold. That was a wonderful evening.
All right.
Yeah, good.
Well done. Well done.
Thanks. Oh.